It's time to soothe, groove, and move those hidden innuendos. Hello, and welcome to the program. Like I always do, I want to raise my glass to you. Thank you so much for being here tonight, Shelly. I also wanted to make a second toast to your late husband. So cheers to both of you.
Cheers. That's very nice. Thank you for saying that.
Of course. It's my pleasure. My pleasure. I know this is not something easy that you can just dive into. And I know it's so hard, and I really appreciate you coming here and telling us your story. But this is a story that needs to be told because a lot of people, they don't really hear a lot about this as far as like the seriousness of fentanyl. What caused this and how you recuperating from this tragic heartbreak?
That's a great question. I don't think I've recovered. I'm still healing, and there's a lot to think about. And I still learn every day, like what I should have done better or what I could have done. On the realization right now, though, that if you love someone, it's better to let them go if you're not helping them. And I didn't learn that till this year. I feel like the universe keeps putting me into situations where I have to like realize that and let that go. But so it's a weird like learning journey that I've gone through, and with the help with my friends, therapists, I feel like it's bearable. But man, I don't know where I would be if I didn't have therapists or friends, you know?
Sure. When you found out, or the day that he passed, can you tell us a little bit about what happened that day that you found out that he passed away from the fentanyl?
Yeah. So I've talked about this a lot, and it's been very helpful to do so. So I'm just trying to practice saying it more eloquently.
Sure.
Me and my husband had a very rocky ending because the first 2 years were beautiful. I found he basically promised me he was done with drugs, alcohol, all that. What I didn't find out till later is that he just graduated from alcohol to pills to fentanyl. And it was unbelievable because I did not think that he was that type of person because he's always told me that he would never do heroin. He would never do fentanyl. That's just not him. He would do weed. He would do drink, like little things like that. He would try a couple pills, but harder. So when I found out, I flipped out and, forced him to go to rehab. And of course you can't force anyone to go into rehab. So that I feel like was my fault because it kind of made him feel that he didn't trust anybody. He didn't trust me. He didn't trust his family. He did go through with it. He detoxed and he got onto Suboxone, which is like a blocker he did well for like a year and a half and then relapsed. It's very typical for people who go from heroin to fentanyl. Yeah, the last 3 years of it was just me finding pills, yelling at him, trying to wake him up, staying next to him so that I'm afraid that if he like overdoses, I at least will be there to wake him up.
Yeah. What type of pills were these?
They were like just pressed fentanyl or I don't really know exactly. I don't remember now, but I used to pictures and like send them to his sister or to his mom saying like, this is what's happening. And and so the last couple months was like every other day was something. He was not in his right frame of mind. This is crazy to say because I didn't really tell anybody except for my closest friends, but he got into Bitcoin and cryptocurrency and got really good at it and took all my savings and put it onto this Bitcoin thing. And I had a huge fight with him because I found out like 2 days before he passed that he like basically stole from me my savings. And then now I can't get it back because it's in the system and it needs like 10 words like password. And so we had a therapy session and we did couples therapy. And so my therapist knows what happened and his sister knows. And then he was arguing with his mom about borrowing money for payback these drug dealers or something. And I don't know what happened exactly with him and his mom, but it was too much for anybody. And I used to think that like I just have to stick it through because he was there for me for everything. So, but then at that breaking point, I just left. I couldn't take it anymore. I moved out.
Was he influenced? Like, I'm just kind of curious. Like, did someone influence him to start doing fentanyl, or did he just pick up on his own dime and say, "I'm going to try this new drug"? Because I don't really know a whole lot about fentanyl, but I do know, case in point, is that if you do too much, you overdose.
Mhm.
But I know it's in a pill format. But do you break it into like a powder where you just snort it up your nose?
Yes.
Okay.
So his method was snorting it. He did that with every pill. Not sure why, but he just went from buying these pills. I don't know what they were, but he needed something stronger. And so I guess the pills were too expensive and heroin was cheaper. And the heroin wasn't really doing it for him. So he decided to buy fentanyl. The way I understand it is that fentanyl is, synthetic. It's man-made. So once it takes a hold of your like receptors, there's no it's like your brain's been taken over by a virus. You're just not you anymore, and you can't stop it. You can't
Was there ever like a time? Was there ever a point where you were like, you know what? Here is me, beautiful Shelly, and here is fentanyl, the addicted drug.
Mm-hmm.
You've got a choice to make. You either take me or fentanyl. Did you ever like give him that ultimatum?
Yes.
And what did it choose?
Every single time. He went to rehab twice, and it was both times a huge discussion about why would you choose this life? We've been through so much together. And he would say, yes, I understand. I can't control it. And then therapy taught me, and just that he wasn't himself. It's no matter what he tried to do, when he tried to make better decisions, the virus or whatever it is just takes over. And he would need a lot more than just rehab. And I don't know what that alternative medicine is, but I know a lot of people are dying right now because of fentanyl, and not a lot of people. I don't hear a lot of people talk about it.
Yeah. Did he ever, again, not to get too personal, but did he ever ask you to do it with him to feel the high together?
No, he knows that I would flip out. I flipped out over alcohol.
Of course. But people kind of differentiate between weed, thinking that weed is like fentanyl, the worst thing on the planet, but it's not. It's two separate things. It's like apples and oranges. You can't compare the two. But fentanyl can be very addictive, as you mentioned. It can be. Weed, on the other hand, it doesn't really do a whole lot. You can stop anytime you want, but I guess for him, he had an addictive personality to where he couldn't stop. What was do you remember the last thing that he said to you? Or the last thing you said to him?
Yes. I have a voicemail because I had moved out. We were going to meet up together to go over taxes, and we had a business together. He did real estate and I was in mortgage, and we were going to go over taxes. He called me and I picked up, and I confronted him about, well, yes, you're telling me you've seen your sponsor, but did you go out and buy more drugs? Because I stopped by the house to pick up something, and I saw a bag, and I found out that you went out. And he had a Tesla too, so I could track him. We have an app, technology, right?
There's an app there's
an app on the Tesla where you can see where the car is. And
I see. Okay.
Out in LA somewhere. So I kind of put two and two together, like, where were you last night? And so he's like, I had a feeling that you would find out. I'm sorry. I don't know why I lied. I just hung up on him. I was really mad. And then he left me a voicemail saying that I'm sorry. I guess we understand that we trigger each other. You're a trigger for me, and it makes me want to automatically lie to you. And you asking me those questions just made me feel very defensive. And then the fire alarm went off because he burnt his toast. And so all I hear at the end of the voicemail is just the fire alarm going off. And he just says sorry a lot.
All over burnt toast.
Yeah, kind of metaphoric, huh?
Right? Yeah. Can you tell us the night that he passed? Like, did you witness him passing?
I didn't. Yeah, because I moved out a week before, I was kind of just getting updates from him. So I was with my grandmother's. He's living in our apartment, giving me updates. And that night when he called me, like apologizing, sorry for the burnt toast, sorry for lying to you. I said, I'll just talk to you tomorrow. I remember having a really rough night that night. I eventually fell asleep like at 1 o'clock, and I woke up like 30 minutes later, just feeling like really weird, really like to me, it feels like I knew that something was up with him.
Yeah.
And I remember waking up in the morning thinking, like, my first thought was to just rush over there because I felt like I needed to see him. I needed to talk to him. But I was trying to make myself stay and go through my own workout routine, trying to work on my self-care, self-love, those things. So I took my time working out and then got on a work call and started driving over there during the call. And then I was driving really fast, and I was like, I should slow down. I do not need a ticket right now. And even thinking about that at the time, felt like I felt something asking me to just slow down. And it wasn't from myself thinking that I need to slow down. It was just like this calm that you need to calm down. And to this day, I feel like it was him. It was him telling me to just, it's fine. You don't need to come. It's okay. I got to the house and he didn't answer. And I have a key, of course, and my dog was running around and flipping out because he probably didn't use the restroom, so I let him out. And then I turned the corner, and he's in the corner, hunched over, and he was purple. And at first, I was really mad because I was thinking, I cannot believe that you're doing this to me again. Like finding you in this position, I've seen a million times. I've like pulled him apart, put blanket on him, tried to wake him up. But this time he wouldn't wake up. And I was freaking out. And I called my work for some reason, telling them that I can't make the meeting. My husband just passed. And my coworker just said, what? Like, I'm on my way. And so she drove over. I called his sister. His sister just, spread the word, tell his mom. And then kind of everything just flew by. The ambulance came, took him away. I sat there trying to piece together what's happening. And yeah, it was very traumatic seeing him being carted away and them telling me that the Narcan that they tried to use on him didn't work. He's gone. And I couldn't even go back in the house for a while because they wanted to make sure that I didn't mess with any of the evidence or something.
Like, I'm sure, like, for you, it must have been a shock, but like, what were you feeling when you saw your late husband being carted off in a bag?
Yeah, it's very surreal. I remember, I think adrenaline kicked in a little bit.
Sure.
I wanted to try to get my ducks in order, but I didn't know where to start. And so thank God my coworker was there. She helped organize a lot of the things and called a bunch of people for me. And I think I sat there for the rest of the night kind of crying about, what am I going to do this? How am I going to do that?
Sure.
And my girlfriend, Annette, she slept over that night to help me make sure I was okay in the morning and then help call a bunch of people the next day. And I was just thinking, on the one hand, I'm kind of relieved that this whole ordeal is over. But at the same exact time, I was thinking, I can't believe I let my husband down.
Wait, why do you think that? Why do you think you let him down?
I think I felt like I was responsible for not letting him overdose. I think it's because we were so close with each other for so long. We went through a lot together, like his divorce and his grandmother passing, then my grandmother getting sick, and then he basically paid for our wedding, he paid for my schooling, and kind of we built a life together. So I always felt like I needed to do my part to make sure he's healthy, make sure he's thriving, and I just could not get him to face his trauma. He thought it was fine. I think his coping mechanism just went from bad to worse.
Yeah, but like you said, though, you tried. You tried everything you could, but unfortunately, he didn't want to do it. He didn't want to take the necessary steps to heal, to get better, to get the treatment that he needed. I think you did everything you could have done. I think if there's anyone else who had a similar situation, they would feel the same way.
Yeah.
There's only so much you can do, my dear, and the fact is that I think you've done everything you could have in your power. So please don't blame yourself at all.
That's what I'm on in therapy, is just not blaming myself. But I can't help something like that when,
of course,
we're best friends, and I wish I would have been there, or at least earlier, to maybe the Narcan would have worked.
His name is Nicholas.
Yeah.
Nicholas.
Yeah.
If Nicholas was here with us on this video call right now, if he was here right now and you were looking at him, if there's one thing you can ask him or talk to him or say to him, what would be that one thing you would say to him?
I love you and I'm sorry. I know it's not my fault, that I'm not responsible for his life, but I still feel like I should have been there for him. I should have called it back.
I don't believe, again, I don't know him, but I don't believe for any man or any woman or any husband or wife to ever want their spouse to feel any guilt.
Yeah, I believe that too. He was amazing. He was an amazing friend, amazing husband. He did so much for me. And I think if he were here, he would probably say the same thing as you say, and made sure that I didn't feel any guilt.
Can we start that now? Can we start from here on out for you to feel less guilty every day? To let it start dilute day by day to where you have no guilt?
Yes. Yes. Cheers to that.
Cheers to that. Cheers to that, my friend. I'm always going to be in your corner, just so you know. I stress this to all my guests. I'm always going to be in your corner.
It's amazing.
Right? But just know that it's going to take some time. And once you do, like, look at yourself in the mirror, like this one day, it's going to happen. You don't know when, but when it does, you are going to feel like this amazing energy that only you can possess. And when you do, you're going to know that I've achieved this on my own. But I wasn't truly alone. I had help with others.
Yes. Absolutely.
And I can't wait for that to happen.
Thank you. Me too.
Of course.
I've noticed that too, is just I have friends now who check in on me throughout the day, and I never had that before. I didn't need it. I thought I only needed it from like my significant other, but it feels just as good coming from a friend and knowing that you have some support. And you can
Is that something that helps you during the day? Do you need that daily reassurance?
I'm a very anxious, attached person.
Okay, that's okay. There's nothing wrong with that.
Yeah, I mean, I've always known that about myself. I am more avoidant anxious, but that's what my therapist says, but I feel like I'm more just anxious.
That's okay.
Yeah.
You are who you are.
Right. And I just feel that I need someone to like talk to throughout the day and like feel like I'm not alone. And so, yeah, the text throughout the day helps. But I've learned that asking that from someone you're dating is not the greatest thing.
Not yet. Not yet. But it will come in time. That will happen. But not yet.
Yeah, I definitely scared off a few people saying that.
You know what? I don't think you scared them off. I just don't think that they were good enough for you. I don't think that they're ready to take on this amazing responsibility, and that is having an amazing person in front of them. So that's actually good. They did you a favor in essence.
That's a good way to look at it.
Yeah.
Yes. Yes. Good for me for dodging the bullet.
Yeah. Well, I want you to know I built this podcast for you. I built this for you. I built this. So anything I can do to help, anything, I'm here.
That's amazing, Sherman. Thank you so much. I mean, kudos to you for using your experience and helping try to use it, channel that so that you can help others.
Thank you. I appreciate you. Thank you. Thanks, Shelly.
Yes.
Well, I'm sending you a big virtual hug right now, as a matter of fact. Yes. Well, let me ask you, this is my closeout question here, because for me, with my healing, music helped me big time. Like I needed it, like my coffee in the morning. Well, let me ask you this though. If there is a song that helps you soothe or groove or move on your good or bad days, tell us what's the name of that song and what genre?
There's so many.
I know.
Oh my gosh. I knew you were going to ask that question too. I didn't even think to, I think the only song that's coming to mind right now is stupid goofy song.
What's, oh, you got to tell me now. The suspense is killing us.
It's such a good, happy movie type song. You ever seen a Goofy movie?
There's a Goofy movie? Like a Walt Disney Goofy?
Yes.
No, I didn't even know there was a Goofy movie.
There is a theme song in the Goofy movie, and that is my favorite go-to song to listen to. I probably need to look it up. I don't know the name of it. I'm so bad with titles.
That's okay. So if I look up Goofy movie.
Yeah, theme song.
Theme song. Okay.
Stand up, something across the ground, even if you gotta shout out loud. It's so cute.
That's great.
Right?
Do we need to go karaoke bar here one night?
Love karaoke.
Hey, okay, noted.
Yeah.
Okay, Goofy movie themes. I'm going to look it up here.
Yeah.
Well, my dear Shelly, I really cannot thank you enough for coming on and telling me your story. And I know that people who are listening have had the same situation. And I know that they really are blessed to have you do this. So really, really appreciate you for being here tonight with me. Thank you.
Thank you. I'm very grateful to be here and grateful to you to having this platform so that I could share the story so that people can feel a little bit less alone.
Absolutely. And you're never alone. So please don't ever think that.